This is all about love. It's about our health. It's about our community.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He has trampled out the vision where the lightning and swift sword. He has loosed the faithful lightning of its terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on.
I just want to say I love you.
We're here today at the Freedom Parkway Dog Park to celebrate some work that T-Splosh and Renew Dollars did in the park to mitigate a long-time erosion problems we were having. And we're here out on a Saturday morning with the neighborhood. I mean, look, we build these dog parks for dogs, and then you quickly realize if you're a dog owner and you bring your dog to a dog park, that we also build these dog parks for humans because they're really a community focal point. You make new friends, you have great conversations, you have moments of solitude and reflection, and they're really special places with man's best friend. Wherever you live in the city, visit your local dog park, take care of it. It's a really beautiful community space, and it's a place that brings people together. And if you're over here on the east side, come by the Freedom Parkway Dog Park. We'd love to see you.
Chastain Park is the largest park in the city of Atlanta. This is the last piece of the Chastain Park path, and it's taken over 25 years since it began, and we are here at a groundbreaking to celebrate this last piece getting ready to start. You know, the phrase, it takes a village, well, it certainly takes a village here. There have been lots and lots of organizations who have helped make this happen. I think there are over 500,000 people and probably about 250,000 dogs that use the path each year. It's an asset that is used by many, many people, from young people walking along to people on bikes to people running and exercising and folks coming after work to enjoy a stroll in the park. And the path has really been a catalyst for revitalizing the park, and so lots of park partners here today with NYO and the horse park and the pool, and it's a wonderful time to celebrate together.
The Atlanta City Council adopts a resolution urging Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms' administration, the Fulton County Commission and Chairman Rob Pitts, and Fulton County Sheriff Patrick Labatt to conclude their negotiations concerning the proposed letter of intent outlining how the City of Atlanta could temporarily utilize the Atlanta City Detention Center as a location to provide additional programs and services in collaboration with Fulton County and other partners by no later than May 31st, 2021. The legislation states that if there is no conclusion to the negotiations by May 31st of this year, An Atlanta-Fulton County Joint Committee will be established to assess and provide recommendations regarding justice reforms. The council approves 2 legislative items that will activate 4 sites of public land for use as affordable housing. 3 of the properties or lots slated for development as single-family properties, and 1 is a 0.9-acre lot across from Atlanta City Hall to be developed as mixed-use infill housing in conjunction with Invest Atlanta. The council greenlights an ordinance amending the city's charter to designate the 2 youth-serving organizations that will each appoint a member between 18 to 30 years old to serve on the Atlanta Citizens Review Board. As a charter change, 3 readings are required to adopt the ordinance. This is the final adoption in full council. The Atlanta City Council says yes to an ordinance amending Section 130-82B of the Atlanta Code of Ordinances related to a waiver of the $88 fee for recycling services so that seniors aged 65 or older earning less than $25,760 of income are eligible for an exemption of the fee. The council greenlights an ordinance ratifying the mayor's executive order allowing outdoor gatherings of up to 9,999 persons that are in accordance with permits issued by the city if the gatherings occur in compliance with the COVID-19 mitigation requirements set forth in the COVID-19 Special Events Permit Overlay. For more recently approved legislation, please visit our website, citycouncil.atlantagA.gov. This has been your Atlanta City Council Legislative Minute.
She is very passionate about the environment.
She's quite a lady, and I appreciate all that she has done.
Being a representative of a district in a city and championing a cause like this, that speaks volumes.
I've always been into sustainability. This would go back to the first term of Shirley Franklin. Oh my goodness. We applied for a grant from Dell Computers for $10,000. They said, collect all the computers, the used computers, printers, Back then, people were not even throwing their cell phones away. So it was really computers. Get it back to us. They gave us $10,000 to get it back to Dell Computers. And then they were going to properly dispose of them by taking the plastic, the glass, all the little parts and taking it apart and then recycling all the parts that are inside a computer. And I loved that, and Cheryl loved it.
I got the word out by just going to all our neighborhood associations. I mean, literally every one of them.
We did it at the Civic Center. That was the very first one. Called for volunteers, and people started showing up.
When my mom passed away in 2006, it was my task for the next couple of years to clean their house out, whether it's paint and chemicals, old clothes, paper shredding. What do you do? So it kind of set me on a mission with this. At the time, the city of Atlanta's recycling manager was Mary Harrington, and I came down to see her, what would you suggest I do? Because really, I had no intention of doing this myself. It was more of city of Atlanta, what do people do? So she eventually hooked me up with Carla Smith.
When Peggy came to us in the beginning, we did our very first hazardous waste. They were having an eco convention out at Atlantic Station. But then I got to know the Braves. Steve Smith worked for Turner Broadcasting. And so he introduced me to Mike Plant. Mike Plant was over the stadium. We needed a parking lot. And we asked him, we said, can we use your parking lot? After that, we had met David with electronic waste locally. We didn't have to pay a truck to add to the carbon footprint to drive it all the way to Austin, Texas. So we started doing our electronic events at Turner Field.
Carla being Carla, We always tell anybody, the volunteers or anybody else, you have to have good shoes on and so on and so forth. It stuff's heavy, blah, blah, blah. Here comes Carla walking up with flip-flops. That was kind of an ongoing joke every year after that. I feel that she really grew the awareness. She helped us grow it, for electronics.
We started off with the computers and the tires. The tires, Lord have mercy.
What we loved about the Untitled Chapter of Omega Sci-Fi was that they really embraced the sustainability of all of this.
We spread the word within the other organizations, fraternities and sororities.
Sat down with Councilmember Smith, and it was like, it's crazy to continue to do these events once a year at this cost, when at this cost we could have a permanent facility. Long story short, we were able to lease property from, at that time it was the Department of Public Works, and Carla was, we're here, let's go. And that was the creation of Charm. 2015, when we opened, we had 5,000 people the entire year. Last year we had over 35,000, and it was COVID, as well as we're only open 3 days a week.
Charm is a nonprofit. They do it with a very little help from the city and a whole lot of help from our communities. So I want to thank the people that utilize Charm, but I really want to thank the people that donate to Charm.
You have to leave the place better than when you got here.
It's been a journey and a challenge that without Councilmember Smith, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today.
She cared about the environment and finding a way for her people to dispose of this stuff properly.
Monday, May 10th, 2021, Zoning Committee meeting of the Atlanta City Council. I'm Amir Faruqi, Chair of the Zoning Committee, and it looks like we have Council Members Dickens, Shook, Smith, and Overstreet on the call, but to be thorough, I'll ask Ms. Lindo to please do a roll call. Ms. Lindo, are you with us? Or I suppose I can do a roll call. Mr. Dickens, are you with us?
Here.
Mr. Shark? Ms. Smith?
I'm here.
Thank you. Ms. Overstreet?
Present.
Terrific. Ms. Winslow? And I'll try Mr. Schick again.
Councilmember Boone. Councilmember Boone.
Terrific. Thank you, Ms. Boone. So we have Dickens, Smith, Overstreet, and Boone. Mr. Schick is on the system. We'll presume that he's with us today. Let me pause again and see if Ms. Lindo has joined us. I get it. I just received a text that Ms. Lindo is connecting now. With some technical difficulties, so let's just pause for a second so she can kick us off with the remote meeting statement.
Good morning, Mr.
Hi, how are you?
I've been connected. Thank you.
Wonderful. We did we bootstrapped a roll call. I think we have everyone except for Councilmember Winslow.
I'm on the line now.
Wonderful. Full house.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Winslow.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Lindo, would you mind reading the remote meeting statement?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Today's zoning committee meeting will be conducted remotely as advertised and in accordance with Charter Code Section 50-14-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting conference bridge toll-free by dialing 877-579-6743 and entering conference ID number 831-599-1256. This information was also provided on the Friday, May 7, 2021 public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, the Council's homepage, at citycouncil.atlanta.ga.gov, Facebook and Twitter pages at ATL Council, and the Council's YouTube channel. Today's meeting agenda was also published and made available on Friday, May 7th via the city's website at atlantacitygA.iqm2.com. In addition, the public was able to submit comments unrelated to zoning items that have or will go before the Zoning Review Board via voicemail at 404-330-6035 yesterday between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. These comments will be played during the public comment portion of this meeting. All persons present on the remote council meeting conference bridge are requested to please mute your phones and speakers. Meeting participants wishing to speak must be acknowledged by the committee chair. Thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lindo. Our next item is the adoption of the agenda. I will move to approve. Can I get a second?
Second, Smith.
Thank you. And Ms. Boone and Ms. Winslow, are you all both voice voting today?
Yes, that's correct. Oh, I'll let them make a second.
Yes.
Winslow second. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Thank you. Ms. Lindo, if you could please open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair.
We may have been too late. Miss Lindo is so quick. She's already got this up here. I'll not second anything else, though.
Opposed at 7 yeas, 0 nays. The meeting agenda has been adopted.
Thank you. Our next item is approval of the minutes. If maybe I could have a motion from Ms. Winslow or Boone and a second from either of them as well. That'd be great.
Move approval. Boone.
Ms. Winslow, do you second?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Please open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair. Vote opposed, 7 yeas, 0 nays. The meeting minutes have been approved.
Thank you. Our next item is public comment. I believe we have 3 public comments, and if Ms. Lindo, you could start that, we will stand by to listen.
1 moment.
I am Brother Anthony Muhammad. I'm a soulful spiritual being having a human experience, and I called on the zoning committee in this channel to recognize that there is violation of an ordinance in the city of Atlanta, in District 11. It has been over a year and a half that I had called and spoke on behalf of a woman who has a home in this Overstreet district that is subject to the violations that continue to be upon her property. A sewer that is not connected to the Atlanta sewer, but a sewer just the same that is broken. And the residue that comes out of the ground flows into the back of the property, into a stream, and onto the woman's property. When it rains, it just goes all the way down the stream in the back of 10 other houses that is connected to the stream. That is a free-flowing stream that goes all the way down from Counterline Road onto Camp Creek Lake. I have asked you members in full council, I have asked this Overstreet to be more sympathetic, more empathetic with this real of this scene, to have someone to address the issue of another senior property that initiates this problem. But I'm asking you members of zoning to be considerate as Mayor Keisha Last Bottom has been considerate to the constituency of Atlanta. says she will not run a second term. Why is it that she's not running? I have asked during her tenure as a council person, I have asked during her tenure as a mayor for things to be addressed, especially non-workforce property, with resources not being appropriated and allocated properly for the benefit of the people to get access to training. I asked for affordable housing. I have asked for the last year and a half, as well as this senior, I asked a year before me to get someone to address the issue of this septic tank problem. Now, what is it that you members of council should do? What you members of zoning should do? Collaboration. Collaborate for the benefit of this senior. You should make collaboration and be the will of the Creator to do right by our constituency. I am Brother Anthony Muhammad. May I hope to Assalamu alaikum. It's time up to you, the council person, for not being.
Yes, peace and love. This is Abel Thomas. I heard this week that the mayor said that we must bridge the wealth gap in Atlanta. I agree. I agree that it's not as much support for the working class and the poor, even though there's efforts being made around it. One thing I know and I ask is, do working class people, poor people, have the right to control, direct, or even have voice in their own environment? I submit to you they should. However, there is something called in police language, the blue wall. That blue wall says, I won't help you if you will help me. But George Floyd's case would not have had an opportunity to get justice if those police officers did say, forget the blue wall, justice is right for George Floyd and his family to be raised up and to get justice in his name. And so I ask that, please, council members, please take the blue wall down and let the working poor and the working class people in Atlanta have their say and their voices respected, just like everybody else in the city of Atlanta.
Greetings to you, zoning committee council members and staff, and special greetings to you citizens and voters of Atlanta paying attention to our government in action this election year. Ben Howard, Senior Advocate, Public Policy Analyst. Under Item 5 of the NPUR agenda last Wednesday was committee reports. That would have been an ideal time for Renette L. Scott, the zoning czar of the NPUR 9, to lead a discussion about the text amendment on the agenda, Z-21-41, relating to urban gardens. Instead, Committee Chair Scott made some cryptic remarks about a matter she intends to bring before the NPU membership at the next meeting. Secrecy is the adversary of transparency, yet no one asked, can you at least give us a hint of what you'll be bringing up at the next meeting? That question takes on more importance since the NPUR 9 has forced that neighborhood planning unit to take a month-long summer hiatus and a month-long winter hiatus. The NPUR Zoning Committee has been chaired year after year by Renette L. Scott. Working with Vice Chair Antonita Robinson, Paulus Clare, and Ricardo Jacobs, Renette L. Scott will continue to control NPUR zoning policies without the full knowledge and consent of the 20,000 residents, voters, and stakeholders along the Campbellton Cascade corridor and beyond. I continue to urge that if and when any recommendations come to you from Neighborhood Planning Unit R, you insist that those secret recommendations be accompanied by official minutes, verifying that all meetings related to zoning, however close-knit, were publicly announced and were conducted in accordance with the Georgia Open Meetings Act. Again, I caution you that any attempt to interfere with the shenanigans of the NPUR 9 will be met with fierce resistance from the NPUR movers and shakers, Vice Chair Antonita Robinson, Paulus Clare, Ricardo Jacobs, Lynette L. Scott, Alfred White, Sherry Williams, Cheryl Brown, and the NPU R9 cohorts and enablers.
Perfect. That concludes our public comment. Our next item on the agenda is item number G, ordinances for first reading. And as we have for this calendar year, we won't read them out today because they'll be read in full at the May 17th, 2021 council meeting and revert to the ZRB. So no action is needed for those, which leads us to item number H, ordinances for second reading. We have two, items number 15 and 16, which may be taken as a block. And I would ask Ms. Holmes to please read them in.
Certainly. Good morning.
Excuse me. I think the first thing we need is a motion to bring the substitutes forward. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That's correct, Mr. Chair. Yes.
Okay. Could I get a motion and a second from Councilmembers Winslow and Boone to bring the substitutes forward?
Winslow makes a motion to bring the substitutes forward, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Boone, second.
Thank you. Can you please open the vote? Thank you.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair. The vote is closed. 78 nays. Both items have been substituted.
Thank you. And before we vote on these, Ms. Holmes, do you mind reading them in?
Certainly. Item number 15, 21-00119, Z2115, a substitute ordinance by zoning committee designating the 306 Ponce Leon Avenue, Atlanta Eagle, located at 306, also known as 306 to 308 Ponce Leon Avenue, Northeast, from mixed residential commercial to mixed residential commercial conditional landmark building or site. Staff, NPU, ZRB recommendation approval conditional. And item number 16, 21-00120, Z2116, a substitute ordinance by zoning committee designating the 300 Ponce Leon Avenue Kodak building located at 300 Ponce Leon Avenue Northeast from mixed residential commercial to mixed residential commercial conditional landmark building or site. Staff, NPU, and ZRB recommendation approval conditional.
Terrific. Both of these properties sit in Council District 2. I'm very excited about this landmark designation for both buildings, which for folks who may not know, 306 Ponce and 300 Ponce are side by side. One has housed the Atlanta Eagle for many years, which has significance to the LGBTQ community. And as you can see in the notes, was where RuPaul did a lot of her early work. And the Kodak building right adjacent to it is not owned by Kodak. It just has a big old Kodak advertisement on the top of it, which remains to this day. It was a film processing studio, but also served as the campaign headquarters for former Mayor Shirley Franklin. And kudos to the Department of City Planning, working closely with the property owner to figure out how best to establish landmark status to preserve the building facades and much of the original buildings for future development. So I will move to approve. Can I get a second?
Second, Boone.
Thank you. Please open the vote.
The vote is open, Mr. Chair. If I may, for the benefit of the public, just note that the substitute reduced the designation area and also added several conditions for the zoning. The vote is open. Ms. Winslow, please. I think we're missing Ms. Winslow. One moment. The vote is 7 yeas, 0 nays. That item is favorable on substitute.
Excellent. That concludes our items for second read today. Any comments or reflections from members of the committee before we adjourn?
No. Can I make the motion to adjourn?
Yes, you may, Ms. Smith.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
All right.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Have a great day, everyone. Take care.